What in the world am I hearing about Cincinnati? Holy crap, I've been hearing from Bengals fans that we need to get a wide receiver. We need to get weapons for, Joe Burrow because he didn't have that many weapons. He didn't have weapons last year. Are you out of your mind? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to diss Bengals fans here, okay? And not in one little bit. And I get that sometimes you want to flash in the pan when it comes to, picking early in the first round. I understand that. As a Colts fan, I feel you. You know why I feel you? Because I grew up, with a lot of quarterbacks since 1999, two of them specifically, and Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. Difference? Peyton Manning had an offensive line and weapons, okay? You're going to go, well, Peyton Manning had all these. What? He had an offensive line, too. You know what Andrew Luck didn't have? Almost the entirety of his career, an offensive line. And guess what? He got hurt so much there at the end of his career, he decided to hang it up. Even though he had an offensive line finally in front of him, and made comeback player of the year in 2018, he was still so hurt he had to retire that next season. And I understand flashes are important. But man, you got to protect your moneymaker, right? Joe Burrow, if you have any faith in Joe Burrow whatsoever, you need to protect him. I mean, did you see the thumbnail? Did you see the thumbnail with that big old scar right down the middle of his knee? All right. That's because he had no protection. I get it. You spent like the 11th pick of a draft a couple years ago on Jonah Williams. That's fine. What about the rest of the guys? Oh, but we got Riley Rife from Buffalo. He's 32, guys, and he's not like a top-notch right tackle. He's a 32-year-old above average, which means you're going to have to replace him sooner than later. And Michael Jordan is utter trash. Utter trash. Why do I say he's utter trash? Because Kyle Van Noy, not some guy who, teams have to respect on a weekly basis and game plan around, had 3 sacks against you guys last year. 3 sacks. He only had 6 for the season. Half of his total came against the Bengals. Why? Because, I'm sorry, Michael Jordan's trash. All right? You need better interior offensive line play, without any question. Now, does that mean that you need to spend your high first-round draft pick on a guard or a center? No. No. If I was the Bengals and I was in charge of drafting, I'd trade back. I'd trade back to the late teens. Grab myself a second-round pick of the same draft and to the late teens. And then use those first 2 picks. Use those first 2 picks on a couple good offensive linemen. Interior. Guards, center, doesn't matter. Use them both. Why? You could even grab a tackle, right? Like Alex Leatherwood, who many people think, well, yeah, he's a tackle, but he'd be a better guard in the NFL than a tackle. Grab Alex Leatherwood late, or early second round if he's still there. Or maybe even trade back again, from late teens to late 20s and pick up another second rounder. So now you're piled on second round picks and you're picking up in the first round. You could go all out. You could grab 2 offensive linemen and 2 wide receivers if you darn well want to, because you'll have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds just because you traded back twice. That's what I'm saying. What's the point of grabbing someone like, now, I get it. Sewell's a nice pick. I get it. I get that, having a nice wide receiver or Kyle Pitts or something like that would be a fantastic thing to have for Joe Burrow. But let me explain to you why offensive line is a help upon help upon help of making life so much easier for quarterbacks, especially like Joe Burrow. First off, let's go look at Joe Burrow's stat line, okay? His air yards per attempt, percentage-wise, 22nd in the NFL. His first, 5 weeks last year, I sat there and watched. Oh, yeah, he had a high completion percentage, but he wasn't throwing for anything past, 10 yards ever, right? 22nd in the NFL in air yard percentage. Danger plays, 22nd in the NFL. Interceptable passes, 28th in the NFL. Why? Because he was getting pressure all the time. All the time. 21st in the NFL on deep ball attempts. And that grew after week 5. He was second to last through the first 5 weeks of the year last year. He had no time to throw the football. None. So get in protection. So he has a little bit more time. And then your boys, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, they can get open. Because both those are good receivers. Let's talk about what getting interior offensive line also helps. Bigger than heck. The run game. Y'all got Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon. He's a bad man. You get him some offensive line so he's not hit behind the line of scrimmage all the time, he's going to seriously put up some numbers. And what does that do? That helps Joe Burrow. Bigger than heck, because now the entire front seven has to be looking run first. Once your running game is established and doing really, really well, like it has been, Joe Mixon's been a good running back. You get even better, that means they can't pin their ears back and go after Burrow all the time. They have to look at the run first every stinking time, which is only going to help Joe Burrow, especially in play action. So yes, go get yourself some offensive. I don't care if you go out and use that first pick. Don't trade back. Use that first pick. Grab yourself an offensive lineman. I don't mind it. I personally would trade back a couple times and grab a bunch of really good interior offensive linemen. I mean, Reif isn't a bad tackle. He's just old and is going to need to be replaced in the next couple years. 2-3 years. He's not going to last you that long. Very rarely do offensive linemen last to 35. Go get yourself some offensive linemen. You need some defensive players too. You could work on that afterwards, from third round back and maybe pick up some guys. But protect your franchise. Don't let him go through another year like he did last year. Because if he suffers another injury like he did last year, it could end his career. Don't let your number 1 overall pick be out there running for his life and scared that he'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Don't do that. And if you're saying, well, more weapons that allow him to, weapons don't give him time to throw to him. Patrick Mahomes can't do squat without protection. Go look at the Super Bowl last year. That'll tell you, right? Patrick Mahomes can't even do anything if he ain't got protection around him that allows him to get those completions off. Give the man some protection. Kansas City, they're all up on it. You about guarantee they'll probably get another offensive lineman in the draft early, first, second round. Heck, they went out and got Joe Thuney. They know what's important. Even though they got weapons, they know we better protect our boy so he can actually get that ball to the weapons. So for the Bengals' sakes, I hope they go out and do something to address that offensive line because they haven't done enough yet, especially that interior. Because quite frankly, that the NFL is changing. I don't know if you've noticed it yet, but interior pressure is becoming a seriously big-time thing in the NFL, right? Coaches know this. Defensive coordinators know this. Your defensive tackles, your 3 tech, your 1 tech, your, the 0 tech. Those are the guys that if you get pressure up the gut, your quarterback's done. Why do you think Indy went out and got themselves DeForest Buckner last year? Because you get pressure up the middle, that means the quarterback has to run backwards. Edge pressure is not going to be nearly as important as middle pressure in the next 5 years. It may be there already. You got to solidify the inside of that offensive line and be ahead of the curve, or at least catch up to it, because you're way behind right now. Hey, if you agree with me, please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. That way you're notified next time I go live. Yes, I talk about the Colts a lot, but you know what? I love keeping an eye on the entire NFL. All right? I keep track of everybody, and I put my thoughts out on everything when I see it. If I have a strong feeling, like the Burrow thing, and I sat here and watched a mock draft with Bengals fans and seen them craving receivers as their first pick, I had to make this film room. This video. It's not a film room, but it's a video. So check me out. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. I got a merch shop right up here. Description. In the link in the description of the video, along with my Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You catch everything that I do, plus Patreon specific videos. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen, and as usual, have a good one.